Good afternoon.
Hello,
Yeah.
Wes.
How you doing?
How's it going? Yeah, I'm doing well.
It's the fourth try today, but
Yeah,
let's
we
go.
were a little bit, we're just bullshitting a little bit. No, I'm doing well, man. I actually had a couple of drinks last night.
Oh,
So, of course,
do you consider that XL or diesel?
I consider that XL because I believe it's a net positive. Met with a good old friend and had very productive conversations and a couple of drinks, so and a good steak, so it was all fine.
All right.
I did feel a little bit shaky this morning because of that. And then my girlfriend also thought it was necessary to give me like these household tasks, like vacuum cleaning.
I love it when they do that. It's so nice. On Saturday morning, clear blue sky.
Yeah.
Nothing tops a little doing chores.
No, great. It was great to do chores. I actually planned the morning to do content here, some content creation. Well, that didn't work. And then I thought, well, okay, I'm going to do it tomorrow morning on a Sunday, which is not my favorite thing to do, but sometimes you have to. But then apparently there were some other plans already made not by
Without
me.
consent.
Without consent. Yeah, she basically stopped asking for that a while ago. So
Does he listen to the podcast?
we will find out. We will definitely find out after this one. But,
Nice.
I'm very well. What you did a little nature expedition this morning, right?
Yeah, a little walk north from Amsterdam. It's always nice to go there. And it was super crisp, like everything was still frozen. And then while we were walking, it was all thawing. So, yeah, beautiful sight.
Yeah, it's beautiful weather.
But tell us, man, you got some news.
Yes, indeed, I do. Well, God willing, I'm becoming a father for the first time in August. So I'm very excited and very grateful with this news, and finally also able to tell everyone, and that feels good. That feels good.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So I was actually hoping that we could dedicate this entire episode to sort of learning from your mistakes, being a first-time father yourself.
We could do 1 hour of dad jokes.
Yes.
That could work.
Like, how does that even work? Like, when you become a dad, that kind of humor just
happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have an example of that, or is it just something that randomly comes up every now and then? And how do you classify it as a dad joke?
You can classify it as a dad joke by the look of your wife. I think that's a very good indicator.
Yeah, because there's not some sort of council or commission.
No,
that classifies.
There's certain looks that your wife will give.
Okay.
That you made a very good joke.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah.
But do the dad jokes, do they already come during pregnancy or after?
You feel some coming up, yeah. But you don't make them yet. It's more like...
You keep them contained
Yeah,
still?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well...
but it is nice, man, being a dad.
What is
You're gonna have a lot of fun.
What is the biggest learning you've had from it up until now? Because your little girl is now 1.5-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hold on.
Sponsored by Coca-Cola. Nice.
Sorry, go ahead.
Take your shirt off.
Too much chest hair.
No, sorry, what was the question?
The question was, what is your biggest learning or your biggest takeaway being a dad now for 1.5 years?
My biggest learning? Well, I think that definitely comes down to needing to be with the right person. Because I can see that this can screw up your life completely.
Yeah, so
if
that
you're
as
with the
well.
wrong person, that's
Yep.
that's pretty clear. But yeah, Megan is doing great, and I'm very happy that we kept Lisa at home until nowish. Like we're planning on putting in, like sending her to daycare like once or twice a week. But I've also seen friends doing that like after 3 months or so. I just cannot imagine doing that. So
What is common, for example, in the Netherlands?
Well, it's common to go back to work after, I think, you got 4 months of pregnancy leave, and mostly 1 month already starts when you're still pregnant, and then 3 months after you gave birth, which is quite crazy because, I mean, like when Lisa, my daughter, was 3 months old, I'm like, how can you send this to daycare? That's just beyond me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's normal because yeah, you need to go back to work. So a lot of women send them to daycare. I get it. It's probably also not what they like to do, but I'm happy that we did all those things. So we had a lot of family around, babysitter. That yeah, Lisa really grew with. So I think my biggest, what I would recommend is doing something similar like that, because that was pleasant. And yeah, biggest lesson is just yeah, be with the right person. But I think you got it covered.
Yeah. But how's that a lesson if you were with the right person?
Because you can see how much pressure there is on both of you,
Right.
and how you can make plenty of plans that all go down the drain because there's like a tiny little human that thinks otherwise, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so in that way, I've thought about it many times. I was like, oh shit, like this is pretty heavy, you know.
Yeah.
And especially for Megan, because he does most of the things, because I'm like working a lot, and she's taking care of Lisa mostly. And yeah, I had a couple of moments that I thought, okay, this is pretty crazy. And if you're not with the right person, I can see why having kids can really mess up your life.
Yeah. It can really break down things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I can imagine. And well, you know, so far so good. Approaching week 12. So I'm just grateful that everything is going well so far, and that's all you can wish for, really, right? And then just take it one step at a time.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited to truly make a home.
Yeah, man.
Create a home.
Yeah, but you bought a nice house.
Well,
or like in the middle of it.
In the middle of that, yeah.
Yeah, that, I mean,
Leaving the city.
I can see that happening too, man. It's super nice what you did.
Yeah.
And or what you're about to be doing, actually. But yeah, I can see that become that can really become a family home. Super nice.
Yeah. And it's just in the middle of the countryside with all the cows. And
you open the doors
sheep.
and it's just like meadows and fields and cows and sheep and
Yeah, literally sheep like in your backyard, like only you know, separated by a small creek.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And it's still very close to the city. You know, I mean, especially, you know, for Dutch standard, you know, we think like more than driving over 20 minutes is far away, right? That's how small the Netherlands is.
Pretty far.
Well, for the Netherlands, yeah. Yeah, but it really isn't. I mean,
but it is. It's pretty far. 20 minutes.
You think? You really think so?
I'm kidding, man. But I yeah, it is. In Amsterdam, it's far. I mean, in Amsterdam, you're already considered like a foreigner when you live outside of the city ring, right?
Well, I would lose sleep over that.
Yeah. Couldn't care less. Also, I like now living not outside of the city ring, but I do live outside of the city.
You do, a little
but
bit.
Technically still within the city ring. But
separated by a little bit of water. That's why it feels different.
Yeah, but dude, it's the first time in 10 years that I sleep properly, man, at home. It's just the city is just living in the city, all houses. It's cold, crowded, noisy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
basically an absolute shithole.
Well, I mean, when you're in your 20s, it's all good, but I yeah, after that, yeah, dude, start making babies, like do some fun things, and yeah, why do you need to be in the city? You know, like
clean air.
Unless you want to go to a bar every weekend, or
yeah. No, I look forward to all that is coming, man. And again, just really happy and couldn't wish for anything more. Yeah, other than that, we had a nice week actually. We had a colleague over, a no-code team member, from Barcelona, Jar, our developer, Webflow expert, and that was fun to have him here. And then you see right away what sort of having time together, physical time together, what that does. It flows so much more natural. You talk about little ideas that wouldn't really come up in sort of scheduled calls. You're able to have some fun together, grab some good dinner together, shoot some content together. That is what we did here as well,
Yeah.
which was super nice, man. Jelle and Jar did 2 episodes of our 20 minutes concept, like the mini podcast concept for Noco, where we dive into everything in the realm of B2B SaaS, connected to design, web design, and no-code, low-code websites, basically. All the new tools, tips, and tricks. It's kind of a blend of all of that. And they were super interesting episodes because I was doing a little bit of audio for them. So I just sitting at the end of the table. I was just listening, like actually bummed out when we hit the 20-minute mark. Like, okay, this is now they're heating up and it's getting interesting. And doing that being in the same room together is just, I don't know. There's something about it that you can never replicate remotely. So we plan to do these get-togethers more often with Jar, of course, but also with the other team members. It's just invaluable stuff, man.
Yeah, man. I 100% agree. Working remote has a huge downside, and you got to put some effort in to get together, because I get it. But I didn't talk to you that much this week because we were both very busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you do? You went out for dinner? You had some...
Well, we mostly...
What is the biggest thing to share?
Definitely the social aspect of it. The personal time. But also, Jar's working on actually the Webflow apps. So at Noco, we try to add some digital products to our repertoire. And Webflow apps is an interesting one for us because we work with Webflow. We have got plenty of ideas on what we can contribute to that ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
And the ideas come from working with customers and the very specific needs that they have in managing and improving and updating the website. So, connecting their tech stack, have all these native apps, but there's also very small little issues, just endless use cases where you could build like a little app for that does like one thing really well that saves you a lot of time and hassle.
Something specific you talked about?
We did, but I'm going to keep that under wraps for now. I'm going to leave that to Jar.
Build in public, man.
We will. But
okay.
I'm going to leave that to Jar. He will probably do 20 minutes about it.
Okay, nice.
But plenty of ideas. And we still have to make sort of a selection of what we're going to do. But also just... taking a good look at our processes and where we can tweak things and where we can automate things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just when you're in the same room together, that little bit of latency is gone. That little bit of lag and latency that you experience in video calls is gone.
Yeah.
And it just feels more direct. And I don't know, maybe it's a very personal thing, but for me, it just gives it that little extra spark that you sometimes need to get over a little hump or something. Where you can really go into the nitty gritty of an idea or a topic. So that is very important. But mostly the social aspects, I would say.
Yeah.
But because we, all work, we were just also flat out working on projects for customers. We have about 3 new websites that we have to deliver very shortly.
Okay.
Which are sort of in the final stages, and that all looks good, but we really had to push for it. Then, we're about to launch our new service pages at Noco, which is also cool. Just
I saw those. Those look pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recorded videos for that as well. Just trying to add a little bit more value there for the people who arrive, so that the most important questions are already answered, and it's easier for them to make the decision. Okay, I want to book a call, and talk to these guys. And they also, of course, reflect our new services structure. So it will be very simple. It will be 3 services pages: one for build, one for optimize, one for amplify, with very clear paths to more information and someone to talk to. So I'm very confident about that. Launching a bunch of new landing pages, also completely overhauled that structure. Worked on that a lot with Naomi, our marketing and growth manager, and all with the angle of just putting relevant topics on there that are sort of very common issues, problems, needs, pains for our audience. and giving them a place to land and to actually have some relevant information, and then again a clear path to a solution. So I'm super excited about that.
Nice. And if we look at those Webflow apps, I don't know that much about it, but I can see it's something similar to all those apps you can download and install, you know, on a Shopify website, for example, where you have a web shop running on Shopify. It's a similar kind of concept, right?
To be honest, I'm not sure, because it's I think the most important thing about the Webflow apps ecosystem, that it's all very, very much native.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how exactly that works on Shopify. It's not my expertise, but it just also avoids that you have to log in and out of like a number of platforms.
Okay.
And you know, it's in terms of user friendliness, it's a big step, and it's just more seamless basically. It's all in Webflow. So,
but then you can still, as a developer, so let's say as Noco, you can still build apps that other people can actually use in their Webflow environment.
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
And is this like, what have you guys discussed about it? Because it's also like part of, like, let's say, the revenue perspective. You know, you want to have more revenue coming out of non-labor leverage stuff. Like, what is the idea?
Yeah, long term, yes, but short term, I think it's all about just solving little problems for users.
Okay.
And of course those apps would be published by Noco, so it's also good brand value. And it all, again, this also starts with contributing some value from that angle. And there is also, of course, there are also paid Webflow apps. Some of them do very well, but I think it all starts with trying to find problems and solving them. And then you can launch an app for that. It can be a very simple one, and then of course you can build that app out, maybe with more advanced features and maybe a premium version. Excuse me. That's
maybe Coke.
That's our sponsor.
It's not the best drink for podcast, man. Also, I don't drink this that much. Maybe one a day, and then during podcasts we're always drinking this.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's something. Yeah. Oh, why? That's a silly question, because Coca-Cola is sponsoring us, of course. So yeah, anyway, good productive week with having Jar around. It was just good fun and good for the morale.
Nice.
And other than that, I tried to avoid you as much as possible, and there's a specific reason for it, because you...
Why?
Well, because you figured it out again, right? That's
figured what out?
Yeah, you figured life. Yes, you figured life out for the.
I have that, I think, on a bi-monthly basis.
Yeah,
that I figure life out.
Yeah, you completely sort of aced everything in terms of nutrition and exercise and sleep. You always have this new angle where you have like new things that you discovered, and you convince yourself in your mind that solves all your sort of challenges when it comes to dietary reactions, sleep.
I know.
So I'm super happy for you.
The placebo effect of this is probably 90% of how I feel.
You 100% thrive on the placebo effect of things.
I know.
Yeah, and
but
so
it works.
You can come up with something.
It totally works.
Yes, it totally works, and that's the most important thing. I actually believe in that, to be honest.
60% of the time, it works all the time.
Yeah. No, but it's not that I'm trying to discourage or disparage what you're saying. I actually believe in the placebo effect.
Yeah,
I think
me
the
too.
placebo...
Let it be clear.
Yeah, the placebo of the obsession is stronger than the thing itself, right?
Yeah.
So I think when we got to know each other, we were both heavy on the carnivore diet. Well, that has always remained a big part of how we eat. I think to this day, right? We just know that works to a certain extent. But then, yeah, we didn't go for the strict carnivore anymore. And then sort of you got this flurry of things that you discovered. Like we talked about the magnesium, sodium. You sort of have a penchant for neurotic over-optimization.
Yes, that's the way to go.
If you self-analyze, sort of where does that come from, and what does it give you? What do you take away from it? And do you feel that maybe you should tone it down a little bit?
I have this. You know what it does for me? Neurotic over-optimization.
Well, no.
Maybe I should coin that one. But it just works for me, man. Because I just have like a couple of like habits I want to kick or something, you know, like from stress or like smoking some stress ciggies, and like it's just these things just pile up, and then I can I can quite easily switch in and out of these things, but somehow it's just way easier for me when I go like completely psycho mode on something.
Yeah.
So, and I already had multiple things I wanted to do, because I was doing the same workout routine probably for like 6-7 months or so, which I just couldn't be bothered making a new one. So I made a new one. And then I had this whole diet thing. I wanted to food prep again, because the only thing we ate was like these sandwiches from shop next door, which is they're really fucking good, but it's also not that good for you. You know, like I don't know where the meat comes from. You know, I'm
Nobody
constantly
does.
eating one pack of garlic sauce a day. You know, like it's not the way to go.
Yeah.
So I just decided to go a little bit of psycho mode on it. Made a whole strict diet in Excel with like.
Oh, really? I didn't even know this. I didn't even know
and all that stuff.
This worse, that worse. Yeah, that
Yeah,
bad.
yeah,
I mean,
it had to be that bad, man. But I feel like it's the answer to all of my problems.
and then by
probably
extension-
also the
Yeah.
answer to all of your problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That I was about to say that. So, do you think that you will also at some point arrive at your Brian Johnson phase? Because then I might have to execute you.
No, not, dude. The other guy, Liver King, was also named. His name was also Brian Johnson, and I had this phase.
Jesus, that's right.
But he was a scammer, and this guy also gives me a little bit of okay. The thing is, first I thought he was a weird dude. Then I thought, okay, how can you hate him? Because he's basically experimenting on his own body. And yeah, he's tracking everything and sharing all the results and all that stuff. And yeah, a bit weird, you know, like to measure like how many boners you have a night.
Yeah, bit weird.
Compared to your sons, you know, like that's a bit weird.
Bit weird to get like frequent blood transfusions from your son.
I get it.
You know,
okay,
bit weird to look like.
Weird, but they're both
weird to look like Data from Star Trek. You know, bit weird to have these weird outfits on where you show your nipples. You know.
Okay, that is all a bit weird, but do what you want to do, man. And
sure.
They're both adults, and yeah, what can you say? But now that he has his whole like supplement line, and
there we go.
Also, one what was it again? His matcha is called ceremonial grade matcha. I'm like, dude, what the fuck does that even mean? And now I think, okay, this guy is probably also a scammer, just like the other Brian Johnson, the Liver King, that was allegedly completely natty.
Yeah, okay, but
then
you have eyes, right? You have eyes in your head. No, but I'm not sure if Brian Johnson is a scammer, and good for him that he does these science experiments and shares his data with the public so that people you can maybe learn from it.
Yeah,
it's just that, you know, I would just it's just with those don't die people, you know, who want to solve aging. It somehow always leads to a sort of a pseudo philosophy of nihilism.
Why?
Because they sort of, instead of just sticking to their protocols and testing and experimenting and measuring and sharing data, you know, analyzing, they also at some point feel the need to craft a sort of a philosophy around it, like it is something deeper. And basically what they do is they counter the narrative of the finite lifespan being, you know, a gift from God, for example, and that we should. I heard Brian Johnson say one time that we should kind of forget about all the learnings, you know, of many thousands of years of accumulated human wisdom, and that we should nullify it all and start from zero. You know, it's the same thing with the David Sinclair, you know, the guy who looks like a rat, because probably, you know, it looks like a little mouse.
Yeah, I know
rat.
the dudes. I read
Yeah,
his book.
they
What
get
was it
so
called again? Lifespan.
I don't know, but they get so they don't stick to their science, which I respect, and I think we can learn from it, and you can probably, but they all have this penchant to build some sort of pseudo-philosophic, nihilistic worldview worldview around it.
Well, I don't find David Sinclair that nihilistic, but I get your point regarding Brian Johnson, and maybe scammer calling him a scammer is way too much.
Yeah,
but
probably,
it feels a bit
probably is.
as soon as you start selling me something, feels phony.
Yeah.
So I think phony is a better word than
No, I know
calling
what you
the guy
mean.
scam. I don't think
know
he's a
what you mean.
scam.
Also, I would happily trade 20 years of my life if I didn't have to look as unhealthy as Brian Johnson.
I just always find it very funny. If you know those guys like what's his name, Mark Sisson or something.
Yeah.
The guy is like in his 70s. He looks like totally ripped, super healthy motherfucker.
Right.
I'm like, that guy just he fries his steak in mayonnaise and he does all these like things.
Mayonnaise?
Yeah. He puts mayonnaise on his steak before he fries it. I think she tried it. It's good.
Damn.
But he does all these things, you know, that Brian Johnson says are not good for you. And to be completely honest, I'd rather live life like Mark Sisson than maybe I'm butchering his name now, but I think his name is Mark Sisson. Anyhow, I'd rather live life like that than, the way that Brian Johnson is presenting how you should live life. I mean, this doesn't feel like there's much joy in there or something.
I also don't believe. I agree, and I also don't believe that.
Why are we talking about this guy again?
Because of your neurotic over optimization spree. Yeah. Okay, well, but good for you, man. Whatever works. And I listen. I'm teasing you with it, but I have a penchant for it as well, a little bit. I mean, I can also go psycho mode on something if I feel like it's like it works. So yeah, it's just good fun because you always come up with something new, and that is then the thing.
The answer
to everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I just all of my friends have made jokes about me regarding the same topics for years. You know, like it's just how I work.
But to be honest,
black or white, I guess.
Yeah, it's better than trying to optimize and trying to get healthier and try new things is better than being completely stagnant, I think. And not being interested in that at all.
No, true.
So,
I have to say, like the most important factors of all these things I do quite consistently. You know, like the macro stuff of your diet, the workouts, the sleep. You know, quite consistent with those things. But I think it's mostly trying to, how to put this? It's mostly regarding bad habits. So I kind of want to like counter those with like some psycho stuff. Yeah,
no man, we will keep. I mean, the dates with butter are actually really good,
dude.
Because you chug away like 20 dates with butter.
Thank you, Solbra.
Yeah, Solbra is contributing a lot of cool stuff.
I need to sneeze, man.
Well, nobody's stopping you. No,
it's not coming.
Was it that?
Yeah.
Okay. So should we talk about DeepSeek?
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Have
you tried it?
Yeah, I tried it. I installed the app on my phone, and then at some point also deleted it when it didn't want to answer questions about what happened on Tiananmen Square.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm using it to save all my passwords and such.
Yeah, it's very smart.
Yeah.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Now, I tried it a little bit, but of course I just tried the app, and then of course all the tech-minded guys, they tried all those other features it have, and they installed the local version and all of that.
Yeah, we had it running here locally.
It
was but yeah, I mean it's significantly cheaper than OpenAI, ChatGPT.
Yeah. So what's the validity of that? Because I hear different stories now. So I heard that they only did it on a $5 million budget or something. But then I also heard rumors that, no, they do actually have a large cluster or large clusters of NVIDIA chips. I have no idea what to think of it.
I don't know the backstory of this either. I thought these guys were like some dudes trading, some traders or something. What was it?
They had an AI hedge fund or something.
Okay. And they had like computing power that they didn't use.
Yes.
And okay. I also read that it was trained on a lot of stuff coming from GPT.
That's also what I read.
But then, I'm like, is that so bad? Because GPT is also trained on a lot of stuff that's created by other people. So I don't know. You know what I feel like is that this all leads towards something good for us as businesses and consumers and day-to-day folks. And I think eventually it will turn out that these models, LLMs, become ridiculously cheap. Same as similar what you have with the server capacity, like. And I also think that it's nice to, how to put this? It becomes more like an infra kind of tech or something where people can just build on top of, and all these people have been bitching about all these LLM wrappers, but I do think that there's a lot of utility there, and also we've been talking about vertical AI, vertical SaaS for a long time. Yeah, I think what you will see is that things like GPT, OpenAI will move more towards the background, and you will get very specific pieces of software for very specific niches. And these things are probably not going to be aced by big tech, but more like, startups that can focus on a specific niche and can just double down on it, build an entire vertical product. LLMs completely trained for specific purposes. And these are the thoughts that I get when I see the competition heating up, like there's some threat coming from China. You also saw like what was the stock value of OpenAI was
NVDA, I think, actually.
Oh yeah?
Okay. NVDA, because OpenAI is not a publicly traded company.
Oh no! Oh, okay, I didn't even know that.
As far as I know, officially they're still non-profit, I think. No, but I saw that the NVDA crash because the stock has been doing so well, of course, because everybody wanted those chips. And but I don't know the validity of the story. I don't know what it actually looks like or how many budget they actually spent, how many chips they actually utilized. I did see Elon also chime in. Like, obviously, they had more computing power than they are believed to have. So, you tell me.
Yeah, man. Well, I don't know the details of these things.
But what people also forget, man. It's brand and first mover advantage. Because, sure, DeepSeek from China, a large part of the world will not use it if they don't trust it. Which might be a silly remark because they also use TikTok. But even there, it gets backlash. Yeah. Because it is Chinese owned. So,
I don't know, man. For how long have people not trusted Google? Like, I tried getting Google out of my life. It's practically impossible.
Yeah.
And, regarding DeepSeek, there's just like massive distrust with anything coming from China these days. I think it's good to see something that can provide a lot of value for a lot less money. And if that's something,
if that's the case, if that's true,
well, we'll see. But it's good that there's something happening, right?
Oh yeah, it will be a bumpy ride moving forward.
Because it looks like if no one is going to compete OpenAI in a serious way, like Sam Altman is probably going to be the AI overlord. From what it looks like right now.
Well, I think XAI is right about there.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I use it, but I still go back to GPT a lot.
It's UI, man. It's brand, it's first mover advantage and UI. That's what they nailed.
Yeah, but it's not that the UI is not that complex. That's what I find so weird.
It's not complex.
How is it's literally a chat.
It is. Well, but name one better UI. Currently on the market.
No, there is none.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
But like, how hard is it to make a proper UI?
Well, that's what I always ask myself when I see the video platform Rumble.
I never use that.
You never use that?
Is it shitty? Or is it really good?
The color scheme, the brand.
Oh, yeah. The color, the aesthetics of just like, I don't know what...
The overall aesthetics is the only reason why I can't get myself to use it. Because I really appreciate Chris Pavlovsky, the CEO, who has been holding the line for free speech.
Yeah, I like that about Rumble as well. But
it's for me, it's impossible to spend time there. He should fire his entire UI UX team. No, seriously, because it's unbearable.
Yeah,
but it's a good platform. It's a good product.
Yeah, that's often the case with these privacy things, right? They often don't have that sexy UX or something.
I don't know what it is.
It's not like because it's privacy, it's like impossible to have a sexy UX. So yeah,
No, I think those two are completely separate from each other.
yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. What's more on the list? What caught your attention? These
Well, I had this funny thing that got recommended to me called Boardy, Boardy,
yes.
on LinkedIn, of all places.
Oh yeah, I
And,
checked that out. I checked that out.
And I had this. I actually left the message, so I left my email address and my phone number, and it calls you. And yeah, it has like quite a nice conversation. I have to say, like, still had, you know, when you have like advanced voice user interface,
Mm-hmm.
advanced chat, whatever, the advanced voice thing from GPT. When you talk to it, sometimes you take a little break, think, and then you want to continue, and then yeah, GPT thinks that your input was done.
Yeah.
So it already starts replying. It had that still a little bit, but it was pretty good, man. So basically, it calls you, Bordy calls you, asks you, ask about your company, what your company is doing, like what makes it so special, what are the things that you're most proud of, anything specific that you're trying to solve nowadays. I was talking about the thing that we are both trying to solve to have a more more predictable inflow of opportunities and more predictable revenue, predictable growth, and it all comes down to having enough opportunities coming in, you know. And I was talking to Bordy a little bit about that, and based on everything we discussed, he already recommended some people I could talk to work on that challenge, you know. And it probably does the same to other people that he talks to. It could also recommend ELA 5 or NoCo, but this is just an interesting gimmicky thing for now. But I do have the feeling I have no idea how large Bordy is, but it could be talking to tens of thousands of people a day. And then I thought, okay, this is, if I look at recruitment industry, for example, like there's so many phone calls need to be made that are just like the first contact with people, you know, like calling potential candidates to see if they are open to something. And also like recruiters in general are quite like a little bit threatening to most people. A lot of candidates, especially in tech, don't really want to talk to recruiters that much. So I think if you could have something like this, could lower that barrier a lot. And also, from what I understand about recruiting, this is like 70 to 80% of what recruiters do, just calling all day to find potential candidates. And I'm like, what if you could just have something like Bordy, call it Cruty or something, something like that. They're a very lame name, but
Cruty, is that what you said?
Cruty. We call it Cruty. But
Cruty.
let's just call with all these people, you know, like, and I think because it's still quite gimmicky, give it a name and let potential candidates call you, you know, like call me and I'll find your dream job with, like somewhere among all these companies I'm also calling with, you know, so something like that could be cool. And I think this is in 2 years' time, all these like human things like recruiting, it's gonna be completely replaced by AI. That's what I thought when I was calling with Bordy.
So looking at Bordy's LinkedIn page, because that's his main platform. So I just did something that no AI has ever done, raised an 8 million seed round entirely on my own.
Oh yeah.
So, and someone is actually vacuum cleaning here in the hallway, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is what it is, eh?
It is what it is. People gotta work, yep. So I'm trying to keep my focus here. Okay, this is interesting. Hanel Bavega and Creandum, known by many for their early investments in Spotify and Klarna. Okay. She introduced me to someone. And then to other partners of that someone. Okay, yeah, interesting. Probably also a little bit of a marketing gimmick. But
Yeah.
raises
But it's the
it
right.
raises 8 million seed round months after closing pre-seed.
I think it's the right direction because I like these kind of things, and I also see plenty of other things in the market, like some local companies literally building just a GPT and selling it to the market as an agent for 500 euros a month. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently they're selling it because people just don't understand how these things work, you know? So they think they buy an agent, but all they do is just buying a GPT, a specialized GPT. And yeah, I like to see more things like Bordy. You know, like it's nice. It's gimmicky. I don't know what direction it goes to, but like also this recruitment case, I can see it solve things like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to. You know what? I know Floris, our colleague, had a call with Bordy. You now had a call with Bordy.
Actually, Forrest spotted the one.
I will schedule a call with Bordy as well, or request a call.
Yeah.
And then we'll see where it leads us and what the learnings and the new recommendations I get from that AI.
Yeah.
But these are fun things because it's also, there's a character attached to it, right? So it makes it a little bit more humanized. And Bordy, the character.
Yeah,
Bordy.
Also had like a thick Aussie accent.
Oh, really?
Which I like. So it was
I'm Bordy. Bordy. Okay, what more? So the EU dropped their new AI link, but actually I'm not really looking forward to getting myself more depressed. So maybe we should flesh that new AI Act out and talk about it on the next episode to
pretend that it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, that's a good one, but we need to know because they have a monopoly to violence, the state, so they can make us comply.
They do.
Yeah,
They still do.
They do. So
what else is there?
The EU AI Act just dropped. So fun fact, and again, we're going to flesh out the act. I still have to read it in detail, and we'll talk about it next week, I promise. But fun fact, there are no AI companies to regulate in the EU.
But that is this
because there are no big AI companies in the EU. They don't exist.
True. Yeah. But is this an update based on an update? Because the first AI Act came out like a year ago, right? So is this an update on that one then? Like, and then if it's an update, like, is it?
I don't know if it's an update. It's just.
Is it lighter or is it?
Is it lighter? No,
yeah,
probably not. Right?
Probably not. But
no,
I'm just wondering, like, what it is.
I mean, that guy Ole Lehmann, he wrote actually a pretty good thread about it, and it's just just to give you a little bit of a preamble. I'm from Berlin.
Yeah, okay, but this is still the same one as a year ago.
I don't know.
He calls it a new EU's new AI Act is about to make it 10x worse. I wonder if that's a new one or still the initial AI.
I don't know
Act
where you get it from. This would be an old one. I think it would. It's not. I think it's a new one. It could be a new iteration, but I'm not sure why you think it's an old one. But it doesn't matter because it's D-cell anyway.
True.
Okay, let's. I already regret bringing it up. Let's look for some more.
Don't you like all the we still have the bottle caps attached to the bottles and stuff like that?
Yeah, that saved us as a civilization that we now have bottle caps that are, that remain connected.
Yeah.
To the bottle after you open them. Yeah, great. That is.
That's also EU regulation. Just for you to understand.
That's the meme, and I think it's also very well known for a lot of Americans because that meme sort of goes around like you have a SpaceX rocket landing or something, or being caught by those chopsticks, and then on the other picture you have a bottle cap, an EU bottle cap.
Yeah, well, basically two of the same things.
But
right?
it is so painfully true, that meme.
Yeah.
That meme is so painfully true, and it's just it really hurts to see it. Okay, so Y Combinator just dropped another one of their silly little lists. It's always a nice way to go over some angles, and see if that if there's something there that that sticks or that catches our attention. So
Mhm.
Y Combinator just announced what startups they want to fund in 2025, and it's mostly AI that replaces 100K a year job functions. Okay, well, that's spicy. Let me see. Most interesting opportunities: AI, App Store, and infrastructure. Interesting. So how would that would look like?
Probably just based on the current app stores, right?
I would say so. Yeah.
I mean, that infrastructure is already there. That's called Apple. What is it? Apple App Store.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there would be like an entire new platform for that.
Got one for Android. Yeah, there's some native stuff on the GPT platform, but
Well,
yeah,
they were early with it.
yeah.
I don't frequently use those apps, to be honest.
No, me neither.
I'm not sure if that is gaining traction and if it's still necessary to actually have those apps.
I don't get this one, to be honest. AI App Store and infrastructure. I mean, basically the App Store and the infrastructure is already there, right? But yeah, okay, cool. What do you think?
Yeah.
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 What's next?
Um,
What caught your eye?
yeah, build the operating system for AI apps, but I don't get that one either, to be honest. Like, what is the operating system for AI apps? What do they mean? What do they mean by that? Do we even need that?
I also find this quite fake. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It doesn't inspire me. This one. Build the operating system for AI apps. Okay, cool.
Yeah, fine. Okay, Y Combinator. Yeah. Vertical AI agents. Build AI that replaces specific job functions. Of course, we talked about it as
I
extensively.
100% get that one.
Yeah, me too. Highly specialized tasks. This is something that you also mentioned in previous episodes. Like, you can completely automate, for example, the billing operations of a dentist, dentistry practices or something.
Yeah, but then I think it's you want to have the entire throughput system of a dentist
Yeah,
facilitated
and that's
in
the
one.
vertical
Yeah,
aspect.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, let's scroll over this because I didn't really read it, to be honest. Developer tools for AI. Help developers manage teams of AI agents. Yeah, sure, there will be tools for that. Deployment testing, monitoring. The math behind it may be interesting to have a look at. 4 million people work in compliance/audit.
Yeah, that one is crazy.
Yeah, 4 million people, and they're talking about the US, I presume.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we are of course building a product within regulatory compliance,
Yeah,
and it's just becoming more and more clear to me that okay, some people are not gonna like me because they're always so like, okay, be careful with this AI thing because it's not gonna replace everything. But I just, dude, it's a matter of time within regulatory compliance, regulatory change management. It's obviously all these banks and financial service firms are all like, yeah, super scared to rely on an AI to, I don't know, to, for example, write their internal policies and stuff like that. But there's now, we're working on like all these like little features that are more like supporting humans, like, so let's say if they need to mark certain requirements in a regulation, that's like used to be completely done by humans. Now it's suggested by AI, like, hey, maybe this part is something you need to do with something with. But yeah, you still have like the human in there as like gatekeeper, or like making sure that what is selected is actually actually needs to be selected, or what is generated actually needs to be generated, or if that's correct, because sometimes it's still hallucinating or whatever. But dude, that's a matter of time, man.
exactly.
Like,
Those checkpoints, you can just make those checkpoints part of your new process.
yeah.
So, no, it is a matter of time, and everybody who thinks that it's not
Yeah, and
going to be
it's
in for a rude awakening.
and if you like, because I'm talking to companies from big fintech companies from the Netherlands, to like global banks. If you see how they are still doing their, like going about with their regulatory change management, it's just, I still find it mind-boggling sometimes. Like it's just done in Excel, different Excel scattered throughout the organization.
Exactly. So you're scared that AI is making mistakes, but how is that not prone to error, right?
Dude, you know how they, because we solved this whole thing for quite a big bank in the Netherlands, and sometimes they got an audit, could be internal audit, but could also be an external auditor, and to show that they were compliant to certain regulations, they were setting up entire work groups of like, could be 10 people that for half a year or longer were just like going through all these mailboxes of people involved in certain regulatory change management processes to find out the whole trail of events. Like how were certain parts of a policy written, for example, or like how are we compliant to this part of a regulation?
Yeah.
They just didn't know. They didn't know. It's just beyond me, like how these organizations work like that. It's just insane.
So, in short, how is Eli 5 with the product that you're building attempting to change that?
Well, the thing that we looked at first is to have a more like a strong foundation up and running. So one that can take you all the way from incoming laws and regulations all the way to output like a policy document, and the whole chain of events is basically stored in there. So you got like a single source of truth. You know exactly what happened, who was involved. You can even trace the discussions that were had about certain decisions made in that whole process. You can see who checked off on certain decisions. Like everything is there. So basically it facilitates from end to end. And now it's just, I mean, this is already a game changer for a lot of banks and financial service firms because they're just like 40-50% more efficient.
Yeah.
And then we're not even talking about all the costs made to deal with auditors. This is pure their own like compliance process.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. But then we're not like, this is still, these numbers are still talking, they're not talking about the effects of AI yet. So they're already radically more efficient. And I personally think that this whole thing, it's going to be completely done by AI.
Yeah, of course. That's
matter of time, though.
Matter of time, and the red tape will be huge probably to cut through. But if you already can establish such a so that a high percentage of savings, time and cost, imagine what even going more vertical by using AI can do.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I also like that because in the RegTech landscape, there's many, let's say, more like single feature kind of products. So they serve a purpose somewhere in the chain of events. And we always went for, okay, we want to have like one single source of truth that can actually, go from incoming regulation all the way to the output, like something that's being used within the business that can also be connected to other systems that are already running in the company. But by doing that, we can now apply AI to all these little parts of the product. And I think, over time, you don't need to have in many parts, you don't need a human anymore.
No. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah. So, but to be completely honest, regulatory compliance is a boring domain.
So you're doing humanity a favor, actually.
Well, I was actually thinking, like, what makes me think? Yeah, why do I want to do this? Why do I want to do a regulatory change management product? And then I came to the conclusion that I absolutely hate this whole topic, of like being compliant to all. Okay, because if you dive into this thing, we were just talking about the AI Act. I mean, we know what it's doing. There's not that many AI companies in Europe. We're prevented from using certain functionalities.
Oh yeah.
As EU citizens. So there's not that many good things about all these bullshit regulations. And if you look at the AML regulations, anti-money laundering, it has cost the world, I think, like 200-300 billion or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it has not even, it didn't even intercept like 1% of illicit transactions.
Yeah, so it's highly
So I'm like,
ineffective.
dude, what are we doing, man? Like all these consumers, like all these customers of banks and exchanges and whatever. They have like,
we're all paying the rates.
yeah, but you have like
And the fees.
You get very shitty experiences. You get higher cost to use certain things, and it's not even effective.
Exactly.
And, I mean, I had it when I bought a home. That because the home was the one that I bought was bought 6 months before I bought it. So basically, just two guys who bought that home renovated the whole thing and then sold it to me. But because it was such a short time span, the bank flagged it as potential like money laundering.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, man, look at these guys. They're obviously like flipping houses.
Flipping houses. Yeah.
And look at me. I'm obviously some business owner that just like makes his money with that. And it had to come for like this committee, and they had to decide whether it was money laundering or not. I'm like, this is just how? Like, it's just insane. It's beyond me. So then I thought, okay, I think that's quite a good reason to automate regulatory compliance efforts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just so it was just a personal motivation from personal experience.
Yeah. Anyhow.
All right, man.
End of rant.
End of rant. Yeah, always enjoyable. Always enjoyable.
What else is on the list?
I mean, we have a couple of things on the list, man. But
No, the YC thing, because we actually drifted
the
off.
YC thing, yeah. I mean, I for some reason I find this YC list a little bit boring because there's so many of those lists, and it always doesn't really even scratch the surface. Are they even as effective as they were in the past?
I don't know. Could be that
it's a strong
still,
brand, but
yeah, it is. It is. But yeah,
and highly successful, obviously.
yeah.
From their past ventures, but well, the math behind it. Well, we talked about this a little bit. Focus on high value repetitive work, non-obvious opportunities, hardware optimized AI code generation. All right, data center automation, AI first document handling. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it feels to me like this is generated with GPT or something.
Yeah, they're getting lazy.
But yeah, maybe this is also. Is this really from YC? This link?
It was posted by Greg Eisenberg, so maybe
yeah.
he's just trying to spoof them or something. I don't know.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not the most interesting of lists. I think we're gonna wrap it up for today, man.
Yeah.
We've had
almost
a full,
3 o'clock.
We
We got a nice afternoon left. Beautiful weather.
We're going to enjoy the weather.
Wear some lamb's wool sweaters.
Yes, I have my lamb's wool coat here, my lamb's wool overcoat.
Nice.
So I'm gonna put that on and grab a cup of coffee or something, and get some good rest before a new week starts.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
And thanks for the lunch. Thanks for bringing a lunch, by the way. It was delicious.
Yeah, it was a fun part, man. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes. How can we make the ending of this podcast even more awkward? Let's try something here. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. Very
Thanks,
awkward ending.
Yeah.
Anyhow, until the next one.
Go get it, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.